Hey, good morning.
I believe we may have some more
Visiting
coming
youth
in.
is welcome as well if you all would like to come forward. You never know what you might get to come back with. Well, hey, good guys, you got the routine down. Well, how's everybody this morning? Good. Good. Yeah, come on up. So today is something called starting of something called Advent, right? So we talked about this. We have the Advent calendar, Advent wreath. We have banners. So Advent, the word actually, I looked it up, okay? And according to Google, it's the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. And they gave some examples. So like the advent of television, way back in the day, you know, when your parents and your grandparents, the advent of television was a big thing. I mean, you know, it was entertainment. Now it's no big deal to you guys. The advent of personal computers, again, that was a big thing. Probably the biggest thing for you guys now that you're going to know about is the advent of AI, right? That's the new thing. That's the advent. So that's like the coming of something notable or big or important. So that's like preparing, exactly, preparing. So when we prepare for things, you know, we're getting ready to prepare for Christmas, right? So we do some things at our house that's kind of different. Not different, same as you guys do it, but I just wanted to show you a couple pictures. Alan, could you go to the next slide? Oh, there we go. So we put up this, I think it's a ginormous Christmas tree, okay? I know it's hard to tell. I tried to get Lorelai in the picture for scale so you can see. That tree's about 4 times as tall as Lorelai is, okay? So, yeah, it's a little distorted, you're right, pictures, and so, yeah, and I tried to fit it up to the slide, but anyway, so you can see, so we put that up, and yes, I kind of, with the help of their Nene and my wife and my daughter, we carried it in. And so we got it up, but that's not the hardest part is we also have a tradition where we go to get this tree. Every year, my mother-in-law's been going there for over 40 years. It used to be at the Haymarket, and now they're down by the baseball field. So Alan, go to the next slide. As you can see, this is how we pick up that tree. It took 4 guys to put it on the car. They didn't come home with me to take it off. So we had to get it off, and Alan, go to the next slide. You can see we have a scale, so you can see there. And any of you guys who know who drive, you said to get from, we live, you know, out of Hirschman Lane, so to get from the tree lot home, I mean, I could have taken side streets, but that would have taken really long. So we always go down I-64 and provide a lot of entertainment and probably some concern for people who are driving past us. But in all the years I've been doing it, we have never had one fall off. So the guys do a good job of tying it down. Yeah. Some have fallen off, yes. But we've never had one fall off. Thanks, Alan. You can go on to the next slide. So anyway, that's one of the things we do as prepare for Christmas. What are some of the things you guys do to prepare? Are there anything you all do to prepare for Christmas? Yes. Put up an Advent calendar. Okay. Anybody else? What's that? Okay. So there's lots of things we do to prepare for Christmas, right? So some other things that we prepare for. Who has birthdays in December? I knew too who did. Excuse me. Does anybody have a birthday on December 25th? Anybody here have a birthday on December 25th? Anybody in the congregation have a birthday on December 25th?
My niece.
Oh, so nobody here though does? Wait a minute. Yeah, we have one person here who does have a birthday on December 25th. Here's a little Jesus, right, from last week that you guys got, right? So Jesus has a birthday on December 25th, right? So that's kind of what the church is preparing for, right? So what are some of the things the church does to prepare for Christmas? Candles, right? Next week, it's going to look a lot different here. There's some decorations they're going to put up, right? Are you guys doing anything at church to prepare for Christmas? You were saying? You all are preparing, right, during Sunday school hour. A lot of you are preparing for a production that is going to help tell us the story, the congregation, another way about the birth of Jesus, right? That's right. The choir is preparing. Yes. The message. Yeah, we'll get the message, though. The choir is preparing for a cantata we're going to do. We're having Advent services on Wednesdays. They're called about how to prepare for that. The title's "Oh, Come, Let Us Adore Him." Different ways that we can adore Jesus. So you guys are doing that too, right? So that's one thing we're doing, preparing for Advent, preparing to celebrate and remember Jesus' birthday. But in the gospel today, there was another message, another thing that Advent's about. And it says, stay awake, be alert. So Jesus was telling that to his disciples, again, during the last week before he was crucified. He was telling them, reminding them to stay awake, to be alert. That was in our gospel today. So how do you guys wake up each day? Does anybody have a personal rooster that comes in and crows for them and wakes them up? No? Alarm clock? You use an alarm clock? Who else? I'm sorry? Your dog wakes you up? What about you, Whitaker? You just wake up on your own? Okay, wow. Cool. Your personal rooster? Who's your personal rooster? Your parents wake up. I'm sure a lot of you have our personal rooster to wake us up, right? So, but Jesus' message to his disciples, Jesus' message to his disciples was to stay alert, right? Because no one knows when the Son of Man is returning. Hey guys. Jesus' message was to stay alert because no one knows when the Son of Man is coming, right? So he was talking about spiritually staying awake, right? To do some things to spiritually stay awake, because it's, he didn't mean to just physically stay awake, but to spiritually do those things. So what do you think some of the things we can do to spiritually stay awake? Cora? Pray. That's good. Yeah. We can worship. We can come to church every Sunday. We can learn more. We can worship Jesus, right? What about the things Jesus told us to do? To love God with all our heart and to love our neighbors as ourselves. What about that? That's something we can do, right? We can do that all the time, and that would help us stay awake spiritually and be ready, to celebrate the birth of Jesus, but also to be awake and be prepared for when Jesus might return. So, Corey, you mentioned something about an Advent calendar. So, Advent calendars, okay, we have these, okay, and Advent calendars are sort of a reminder to prepare as we get ready for the birth of Jesus, right? So there's different ones here. And that actually, as I was doing some research, Advent calendars actually were created by German Lutherans. I'm sure I'm going to butcher this, but they called it the Adventskalender with a K. They didn't use a C. But it was to mark the days of Advent leading up to preparing for the birth of Jesus. And they kind of started, I think it was basically just like chalk marking on the door or something like that, or sometimes they had little strings. There were all different kinds of, there's living ones where people will actually, like the living nativities we have, where people a different person will appear for the next day. There's windows. There's just all kinds of Advent calendar type things that prepare as we lead up to that. So I get, I don't know, I found these different things. I get this email every once in a while from a guy named Roy Goebel. His thing is Junkyard Wisdom. Junkyard Wisdom's his thing. He just kind of does this, and he'll send emails out every once in a while. But he proposed this idea. I got an email this week from him just as we're preparing for Advent, and he got this idea from one of his readers who proposed it to him. So I want to propose this as a way for us to stay awake spiritually. And it's for us, the entire congregation. So an Advent calendar, right, you open it each day and you typically get a piece of chocolate, or sometimes even fancy ones, you might have toys or something like that, right? So I want to talk about doing something called a reverse Advent calendar. And what that is you can get a box, like an Amazon box, we have tons of those at our house, or one of these reusable bags, right? And every day, instead of taking something, like opening this and taking something like a piece of chocolate, every day you get something and you put it in the bag. Maybe it's something for our local shelter needs, local food banks. We've got the EACM that we support. We've got lists back there. There's the tree, the giving tree. You can pick something from that. And even if it's not something every day, if you miss a few days, whatever, maybe you do something every so many days, but it's giving back. It's not taking, but it's putting something, and it's spiritually staying awake, because that's loving our neighbors as ourselves, right? And then right before Christmas, you can take that and donate it, and you can bring it here to church if it's something that we're doing, or take it to whatever shelter or cause that you might know about that you want to give something to, okay? So it's a reverse Advent calendar. And let's just some way we can stay spiritually awake as we get ready for Christmas, okay? All right, everybody think you can do, maybe think about that, maybe talk to your parents about it, maybe it's something we can do, okay? Okay, all right, let's pray. And I'll just do a repeat prayer. I'll say the line and you all repeat after me, okay? Dear God, thank you for sending us Jesus. Help us to stay awake, to hear your words, and to show our neighbors love. Amen.